We are doing our fall series for 2022. And today we got episode 1 where we're going to start with Otto, Chef Otto, but we're going to all stay on mute. And if you have any questions, just throw them in the chat. Let me just move on here. And I don't know, Linda, if you want to introduce Pat, your executive CEO.
I am going to introduce a virtual picture of our CEO and President, Pat Spence. But I also want to welcome everyone to Destination Cuisine this evening. Again, this is our first episode of a 2-episode fall series. And welcome back, because I see a couple of familiar names from other episodes. You're in for a real treat tonight. Otto Llamas will be presenting this evening. I just want to thank our sponsors before we get started: the Ajana Foundation, Bar Foundation, Bromley Charitable Trust, Cummings Foundation, Janet Tiampo and David Parker, John Hancock, and State Street Foundation. Let me provide a little snapshot about Otto. When you registered, you saw a much longer bio. So I'm not going to take a lot of time, because the important part is to actually see him and hear him presenting tonight. He was born and raised in Guatemala, and he emigrated to Boston in 1995. And after working in the financial industry, he decided to pursue his love, his true passion for cooking. He has worked in high volume kitchens throughout Boston, including the Elephant Walk and Stephanie's on Newberry. And in 2013, he decided to leave the financial industry, and he embarked on a new journey, and it transformed his life as a chef. He was accepted to a prestigious culinary institute in Lima, Peru. And there he learned traditional nuances of Peruvian cuisine, which are richly influenced by Incan, European, Asian, and West African cultures and cuisine. So Otto's experience in Peru became an inspiration for him at his catering company, Lima Limón, which he founded in 2017. And he serves beautiful, fresh dishes. And through his cooking and storytelling, he's committed to showcasing why Peru has become known as a culinary mecca. So with that, we have Otto Llamas.
Thank you very much, Linda. And it's a pleasure to be here again. And like you said, many years ago, I discovered my passion for cooking and became known of the Peruvian cuisine as well. And that's why we're here today, to demonstrate one of the dishes, which is well-known all around the world. And as we know, the Peruvian cuisine is becoming one of the the largest cuisines. And today I would love to be showing you how to make Lomo Saltado. And as you can see here, the main ingredients, it's the red onion, tomatoes, cilantro, garlic, soy sauce, and one key ingredient, which is the ají amarillo. We find it here as a paste, and it's all over Peru, and it's one of the main key ingredients in the Peruvian cuisine. And I'm going to be using this today as a part of our dish. So we're gonna get started, and I have pre-cut some onions for our dish, but I'm going to demonstrate to you how we can make these cuts. Basically, it's a julienne cut, and once you have your onion, basically the recipe calls for 1 onion, and once you have your onion peel, you can start cutting, like in this way, julienne. So very thin, so it cooks a little bit quicker. So once you have,
whether you use a yellow onion, a white onion,
this is
onion, or a red onion.
Sure, yeah, this is a red onion, very unique and very particular in the Peruvian cuisine. All over the majority of the dishes, they all include red onion. So red onion is the one that we use here, and we use it throughout many dishes in the Peruvian cuisine. And then tomatoes, which is another part of the another key ingredient. We cut off the bottom, and then we slice it half. We make a cut half, and then again we make a julienne cut. And this is a Roma tomato. And once you have your cuts like that, you can use as many as you like or as less as you want. But pretty much in between 3 to 4 tomatoes, it's really good. So then after that, I'm going to move this forward to another dish.
Now, is this a traditional family dish that's served in Peru?
This is a very traditional dish from Peru. It's actually, if you, any place you go, if you talk about Lomo Saltado, everybody knows Lomo Saltado. And it's one of the ingredients on this is the soy sauce, which is the influence of the Asians coming into Peru. So when they immigrated to Peru, they brought with them soy sauce, and they found tomatoes, they found onions, and cilantro, and all the ají, the Peruvian ají, and they incorporated this to the Peruvian cuisine. And another key ingredient is the Lomo Saltado, is the meat. I'm using tenderloin tails in this particular case, but it happens that if you don't eat beef, you can use chicken, you can use salmon, and if you really are not into meat, then you can use tofu as a substitution of the meat, and then all the rest of the ingredients stay. So at this particular time, I'm gonna cut the meat, and it's all about the size. So I'm gonna cut this in half, and then slice it down against the grains of the meat. And this particular meat, it's about, I said, 3/4 of a pound. So you slice it very gentle. And
𝒑𝒊𝒔𝒐𝒅𝒆 asks, are there any other cuts of beef that you can use in this dish besides the tenderloin?
You know, that's a very good question. You can use other cuts like, flank steak. You can use ribeye, but the thing is that the tenderness of these tenderloin tails are really good. And once you taste that, then you definitely stick with this. But definitely tenderloin tails is the best, but you can, like I said at the beginning, you can use any type of meat that you really are interested in adventure with this dish. But the key ingredients: onions, tomatoes, garlic, cilantro, soy sauce. And if you can find the ají amarillo, then that's another good integration of the dish. And talking about the cilantro, sometimes people ask you how you cut cilantro, how you dice it like so nice and things. So you can take cilantro like that, like the whole, and then you can fold it like once or 3 times. Once you have it right there, then you can start slicing your cilantro just like this. Everything stems and everything, because flavor is all over with the cilantro. So you can actually, and there it goes. You have a nice thin cilantro for your dish. And if you want to garnish that with your dish, it's a good idea also if you want to do it. And
are there different variations of this dish across the regions of Peru?
There is quite a few variations, and like let's say this is the base. This is the Lomo Saltado base, and then you have another dishes that they have incorporated, like with Another dish is called causa, which is mashed potatoes with the yellow ají sauce mixed all together, and they put a layer of the lomo saltado in between. And there is many variations of how you can incorporate these ingredients into another dishes in Peru, with the Peruvian cuisine. So now that we have everything here set up on top, so I'm going to start cooking. And another key ingredient on this particular dish is that you can add rice to it, and also French fries are going naturally together with this dish, which is very Peruvian, very different from other dishes. So right now I have I'm gonna start by adding a little bit of oil, maybe like a spoon or two of oil. This has been warming up for a little bit, so now I'm gonna be adding a little bit of the garlic. Like a
Do you have a preference
spoon.
for oils that you use?
I'm for this particular time I'm using vegetable oil. You can use canola. You can use any type of oil actually that you like. And right now it's just a matter of sauteing all our two ingredients. Onions are going in right now, so just let it cook a little bit, like just to get them a little bit soft. And once they are kind of like caramelized for a little bit, then we're gonna be adding the tomatoes. And one of the things that I learned in Peru is that even though you're putting together all these ingredients into one dish, you saute first your vegetables, and then you saute your meat, and then everything gets incorporated at the very end. So right now, my onions are getting ready. So I'm going to be adding the tomatoes. It's about 2 tomatoes that I'm adding into this particular dish. And as you can see, so far there is no salt involved in this dish. There is no salt because of the soy sauce is going to provide the salt that we're looking into this particular dish. So, and you can tell, the smell is so good right now.
I was just thinking, it'd be wonderful if we could smell it.
I really wish that you guys could smell this, but it's getting okay. So now my tomatoes, onions are ready. So I'm going to be showing to you, maybe to here you can see how they're looking. And separate this for a little bit. And now we're gonna be cooking the meat and adding maybe 2 spoons of oil. And I'm going to be adding a spoon of garlic. And I'm gonna let it cook a little bit. So just a tiny bit.
Liz Wang asks, is there, have you ever made the ají amarillo from scratch?
There is quite a few ways. Well, there is only 2 ways that you can get the ají amarillo around here in Boston. And one is paste, and the other one is frozen. And when I get it frozen, I can actually make my sauce from scratch. So it depends, if I can find it, then I make my own. Otherwise, paste is also good. So my meat is getting kind of like a sear a tiny bit, and I'm not going to be cooking this through 100% because I want the meat and the onions and the tomatoes to be incorporated in here. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing right now. So it's only like, as you can see, it's only like a few minutes that you have to sear your meat. And now I'm just gonna let the rest be cooked properly. And right now, I'm going to be adding a little bit of the ají paste.
How hot is that?
It's really hot. It's really hot. I mean, the paste in particular, I find it that it could be a little bit tricky to your palate, so it can be kind of like hot. But you know, it's not, you know, as hot as the habanero pepper, let's say, you know.
Okay.
And now, you know, the meat it's already cooked, so I'm going to be adding a little bit of cilantro, maybe like a spoon of tomato of cilantro. Then you mix it all together. You have a little bit like a spoon of soy sauce. And now let it cook a little bit, and it looks like our dish is ready. And you can see it over here if you guys can see it. It's and it smells so good. So once you have your dish all set, you can start setting up your plate. And in particular in Peru, you can serve it with rice, and it goes with rice and fries. So I'm going to be adding the rice into my plate. And a little bit of rice.
Now, do you flavor the rice or is it plain rice?
It's flavored a little bit just with salt, and that's it.
Okay.
Okay, because don't forget that you're going to be getting the salt from this dish and all the flavors that are coming out from this dish. So now it's just a matter of plate my dish. And this is something that if you are having some people coming over to see you, this is something that you can actually have it ready just to cook, you know, like you can have it ready well in advance just to cook all the ingredients together.
Now, how many people will it serve?
This one in particular, it will serve about 4 to 6 people. So it's a good quantity and quality of food that you actually are getting into it. So now, you know, we just incorporate the potatoes. And one of the things in Peru is that you can actually mix. The idea is to mix these 3 ingredients in your dish, to mix it all together once you're ready to eat it, and then you can have a party. And in this particular case, I have some green onions. I'm just going to top it like this, just to garnish, to make it look pretty. And there it goes. That's the Lomo Saltado.
Now, we have people from all over the world, and can you substitute something for the potatoes like yuca, or?
You can. That's actually a really good question. You can use yuca as a substitute of the potatoes. And I mean, like I said, this is like the main dish, and then after that you can get creative about, you know, what you like, another, you know, vegetable that you want to actually add to this particular dish. Like I have heard people adding, you know, red bell peppers, green peppers, and it's actually really good too. You know, so once you have the key ingredients, which is, you know, soy sauce, the chili paste, and the meat, the onions, and the tomatoes, then you're golden. It's amazing.
Now, if people are searching and searching and can't find the ají amarillo, what can they
Yeah.
use as a substitute?
Well, that's a good question. You can actually make your jalapeno sauce, if that's another option. But I can tell you that if people really interested in getting this type of ají, there is a store online that you can actually buy it directly from there. It's called perufoods.com, and you can actually order there. But if you are in the Boston area, there is quite a few stores around in East Boston in particular, and you can get it from there too. But if you're far, then it's a very simple sauce, and actually you can actually dice your jalapeno peppers or peppers that is your preference. You can dice them and incorporate them into the dish as you are cooking. So that's another option. But if you really want to make like a sauce, like a paste, like the one that you see here tonight, then you can just blend them all together, a little bit of water and salt, and that's it. That's all you need, because they're gonna be cooking once you incorporate everything into your dish.
Now, if you're going to use a meat substitute, an alternative like tofu, are you going to need to marinate it?
Well, that's a good question. Since soy sauce is very powerful, I don't think it's needed. But if you want to, like I said, you can get creative with this dish, and you can, if you like to marinate, you season your tofu, you can do it. You can sear them before you incorporate the tofu into your dish. You can do that too as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, if you have any other more, like questions, just let me know. I'll be gladly to answer them.
Can you teleport this to our homes? Little Star Trek technology.
Yeah. You can send me your address.
Yeah.
But if you're local, if you're in Boston or near, you can reach out to me, and I'll be more than welcome to share, to accommodate any of your needs. If you're looking for some catering, if you like to get some kind of like a different experience when you're having people coming over to your place, your company, your office, any place, just let me know. Just reach out.
Gary, you could just come off mute and ask your question.
I just can't mute.
Oh, no. Kira has a question for you.
Okay.
I've been to Peru a few times and have eaten this dish a lot. And what's that green sauce that they make? Not necessarily for that dish, but for dipping the 𝑬𝒑𝒊𝒔𝒐𝒅𝒆 and the other fries.
Yes. That particular one, it's made out of a very particular herb from Peru, which is called 𝒑𝒊𝒔𝒐𝒅𝒆. That's the base of the sauce, and it goes with garlic, mayonnaise, sour cream, cilantro, and what else I'm missing? And that's it. That's all they do. They just mix it all together, and you get the green sauce.
You probably can't find the sauce here, can you?
You can let me know how much you need, and I can give it to you.
Well, I live in Florida, though.
Oh, you live in? Yeah. Well, you know what? Living in Florida, you might be able to find all the ingredients and make it yourself.
Okay.
So the key ingredients, like I said, it's 𝒑𝒊𝒔𝒐𝒅𝒆. It's something that's very unique herb from Peru. I'm sure that you can find it over there, and you can use mayonnaise, sour cream, garlic, cilantro, and then you mix all of those ingredients into your blender, and then you roll them.
How do you spell that? 𝒑𝒊𝒔𝒐𝒅𝒆?
𝒑𝒑𝒔𝒑𝒔𝒑𝒔𝒑𝒔𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑 𝑬𝒑𝒊𝒔𝒐𝒅𝒆.
Okay.
Boy, did I
Yeah.
misspell it.
do you need the spelling again?
No, I'm good. I got it,
No,
unless
you're good.
anybody else
Okay,
needs it.
okay, okay. And also, sometimes what I do with that sauce is I add a little bit of, like 1 or 2 jalapeno peppers, and that's it. It's all about how much spice you can, you like. That's all about that. And let us know if you make it, how that came out.
Would you be able to find it on perufoods.com?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
The
find
homemade
it
is-
frozen. Yes, you can find it frozen, and you can find it actually as a paste. So both will work very well.
So
Any
what
other
Like I
was-
said,
questions?
and like I said, if you're in Boston, you can find it here in Boston very easy.
Go ahead,
Anywhere
Liz.
in East, yeah, anywhere in
Sorry.
East Boston, anywhere in East Boston.
Well, my
Gotcha.
sister lives there, so maybe next time I visit her, I'll
Okay, yeah.
make it with her.
Yes, that would be awesome. Yeah.
So
And
Liz
let
has
us
a
know if you
question.
make it. Yeah.
And a side comment, if you're able to grow it in your herb garden, it smells like really floral and delicious. I randomly had a friend give me seeds, and that's how I randomly know about this Peruvian herb, even though I haven't been really eating the
Well,
food.
Yeah, it's a good question. And also, I have to tell you that you can actually buy the seeds online and you can grow it. It's really, really good when you actually do it in your own garden. And it's just the flavor is different, you're eating fresh.
Mhm.
So you
Are there any
can
other
actually
things
find it.
you use the wakatai for?
Excuse me, what was that again?
Are there any other sausage or condiments that you can use the wakatai for?
You can use it actually with so many sauces around, like there is some potatoes, boiled potatoes that it gets mixed with the paste and the wakatai, and the flavor comes like really nice, and you can actually create another sauce with it. But wakatai is used, like in all throughout Peruvian cuisine.
So I have my question is kind of more of a story, asking about your story question, which might tie into a question that's in the chat. So I had visited Central America for the first time. I actually gone to Guatemala, and I haven't been to South America. But when I was there, I noticed and I didn't meet many people, so it's not representative, of course. But I didn't find that a lot of folks had this like relationship with food that I've kind of seen on like these webinars, and we talk about other cultural foods. And so I was wondering why Peru, what drove you there? Because I don't really know what the meccas of cooking schools are. So I was wondering what others you were considering, what stood out about Peru.
But I'm sorry, you got cut off on the last question about Peru. What was the considering?
Yeah, I don't really know. I just thought maybe everywhere in the world, like cooking, there's cuisine schools everywhere. But now I'm thinking, oh, maybe it is like Peru, it is France, it is certain places. So I was wondering, in your journey of becoming a chef, what led to Peru?
Oh, it's a very interesting question. When I first started with all this, my main focus or my main idea was to create something like a very authentic Mexican taqueria, because back in the days, there was nothing about that around in Boston. So that was the main idea. But then as my wife, who travels a lot, she used to travel a lot. One time she landed in Peru. She enjoyed the food so much. She got to know a little bit of what the Peruvian cuisine was about. So she told me right away, if you're gonna be doing something about cooking, are you gonna be, is that your passion, then you have to start doing some research about Peruvian cuisine. And there it was. I started doing my own research, recipes, for family and friends here in Boston. And then, I realized that if that was the direction I wanted to go, I needed to go directly to the source. So that's how I end up in Peru. So that's the short story.
Two things. Tamika asked if you could share something more about your journey as a chef. And then the other thing is, after that, if you could just talk about your catering company.
Absolutely. Well, my journey started when I moved here to America. And when I first landed here, I have no idea about, cooking. I have really no background. And I started working at restaurants, and I got to the point of saying, like, this is, honestly, it was kitchens where it was so crazy. And when you don't know anything, there is no time for people to teach you or to tell you, what to do and the reason behind. So I was like, dancing around places, and then went back to the IT financial area. And then, but that particular part of the cooking stayed behind me. And after, a number of years, I decided, to actually explore my love for cooking. And the love for cooking became when I started working at the Elephant Walk, which it was a French and Cambodian cuisine. And I really enjoyed working in there, cooking for them, because everything was made step by step. There was a reason for making the sauce, for making the meat marinated in particular ways. And that's how my passion for cooking started. And then after that, I decided to go back to my cooking after working several years in the financial industry, and created my own catering company, and started to cater international business schools around Boston. And during the pandemic, I was lucky enough to run a pop-up in Milton, which it was supposed to last or to be only for 3 months, and it lasted almost 2 years and a half. So, if the acceptance was really well accepted for the community in Milton, and created like a network of friends and customers that really, now they ask for catering for their events, weddings, birthday parties, or just gatherings. They're missing my food, so they just ask me to do something for them, and that's what I'm doing.
What are some of the signature dishes that you prepare in the catering business?
Well, Lomo Saltado is one of them. And then I have some empanadas, which actually are really good, and they became one of the for the locals, they became one of the #1 preferences for them too. And also there is another one, it's called ají amarillo, ají de gallina. It's another one that it's really good, and people also love it. And there is also causas, the ceviche, so anticuchos is which meat skewers. There is plenty of dishes that really actually you can, relate to. It's many, but Lomo Saltado is one of them. That's why I'm so happy to be forecasting this dish for you tonight.
JD said that the food in Milton was really good, and I can attest to that too.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And that was the whole purpose. Any
Hey,
other
Tamika,
questions?
you wanna jump in? You have any questions for the chef?
No, that was my question, to understand Otto's journey from finance to restaurants to being an entrepreneur. So I love hearing the story. Thanks for sharing your story, Otto.
You're welcome. Welcome. So any other questions?
I do have a question.
Suggestions?
We've had a couple of chefs who develop products. We
Sure.
had one chef from, I forgot where he was from, that's terrible. But he developed a series of hot sauces that he's now marketing. Is there a particular condiment or something that you've thought about marketing?
You know, that's a really good question. And one of them, it's the Peruvian green sauce that I was asked before. And I think that that's something that that could be something that I'll be looking for to promote and to actually produce for people to have it, you know, because that was based on my experience being at the pop-up. That was one of the main things that people were looking for all the time, you know, for the sauce.
Sign me up.
Sure. I will.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Tamika just put it in the chat. Yeah, Chef Ricky's hot stuff. That's
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, Ricky, yes.
Yeah.
Ricky, I know it's Ricky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Good. All right. I guess we got a few minutes, can start wrapping up here. Any final questions for the chef?
What's something that you make at home on a regular basis for your family, for the girls and your wife?
That's a good question. It's a good question and a very tough one because everybody's asking for different dishes. But a Lomo Saltado is one of them, and also the roasted Peruvian chicken is also another one. And we do some sort of like quinoa salad and cabbage salad with some grains on it, proteins. But that's what we normally do. We do kind of like different kind of dishes too. It doesn't have to be Peruvian all the time, you know what I mean? But I kind of like a sneak, like an ingredient here and there, just to to make it different,
So do you only cater events, or do you also do, like, if somebody wanted to order like meals for a family of 5?
Yeah, you can. I do pretty much everything, and everything that is related to food, I can definitely do it, make it happen. Like also like a private event. Like if you don't feel like cooking, and you're having some friends or family over coming, I just bring all my ingredients with me. We come up with a menu beforehand, and then I bring all my ingredients. I do all my cooking at your kitchen. At the end of the night, I pick up everything and I leave, and everybody's happy.
Yeah, that sounds like a real plan.
Yes. So that's a good deal actually, because you have just to enjoy yourself and have me, do all the cooking.
Yeah, I like that.
Will you be doing any pop-ups soon?
It's kind of like hard right now to decide, if they're coming or not, but I'm definitely working on it. And as soon as I have them, I'll post and let everybody know where and when.
Great.
But it's always in the works.
Good.
Okay.
All right.
Any more questions or comments?
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
All right. So I'm gonna
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me demonstrating.
Well, thank you again, Chef Llamas. And if you want to reach out to him, make sure you take down his email and his phone number here, and be sure to follow him on Instagram. And Linda, I want you to talk about some of the upcoming events that we have here at UFI.
Okay, so before you do that, Otto, what was that on the plate skewered in the previous slide?
In the previous,
Angela, can
you
you
put
show
it?
the previous slide?
Okay.
You're talking about the skewers?
Yes, what is
Yeah,
that?
those are the ones I mentioned before, and those are called anticuchos, and it's again, the meat, beef, you can make them out of chicken, shrimp, but the key ingredient is the marinade that goes to it, and it's also that sauce that you can actually buy it as a paste, and you marinate your meat with that particular sauce that is called anticuchos sauce, and then you just grill them, and they're amazing. And you can be creative too with that one. You can use any type of meat you like, or you can also use just vegetables if you like. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So I'd like to share with you some of the events that we've got coming up at the farm. On November the 1st, we'll have Chef Ali Lopez, and she's got over 15 years of experience in food industry, cooking, management, and land stewardship. And she's a co-founder of Open Hearth Gatherings. And you can scan, or you can go to the Eventbrite site, which is listed here. We have farmers markets from now till November the 15th. I believe it's the 18th, not the 15th. I'm looking at the calendar. Yes, so the 18th. From 1, it says 1 to 4, but we're there a little bit later, from 1 to 5, sometimes 6, because we do a CSA. And I want to invite you to a special event that we haven't been able to do for the last 2 years because of the pandemic. This Saturday, we'll be doing our Food Day and Garlic Festival at the farm, 487 Norfolk Street in Mattapan. And it's from 11 till 3. We'll have raptors from the Trailside Museum and an educator to talk about the different birds. We'll have an old-fashioned cider press, and we'll be pressing apples for cider making. We'll have pumpkin decorating, birdhouse painting, and tie-dyeing tie-dyeing with children. We'll have fire cider making, and we'll have a chef in the kitchen showing different ways how to use garlic. So we hope that you'll join us. There are more activities that I haven't named, but I hope you'll join us on Saturday, sometime between 11 and 3. We'd love to have you. It's an event for all ages. And I would like to thank our sponsors again. The Ajana Foundation, Barr Foundation, Bromley Charitable Trust, Cummings Foundation, Janet Tiampo and David Parker, John Hancock, and State Street Foundation. And especially to Otto Llamas for teaching us how to make, I'm going to mispronounce it again.
Lomo Saltado. Lomo Saltado.
Lomo Saltado.
You got it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, all.
So I hope you'll try to prepare I hope you'll prepare the dish, and please send us an email and let us know how it turned out.
Yeah.
You can send that to info@Urban Pride, wrong company, info@urbanfarminginstitute.org.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. And be sure to follow Urban Farming Institute on all of their social media if you're not already. And also to follow Otto on his Instagram at Lima Limón BOS, B-O-S. Yes.
Thank you.
And thanks again for coming, everyone. And you will receive a link to the recording as well as a copy of the recipe.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night. Okay. Bye.
You too.
Everybody have a good night, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Forget
Bye-bye.
Ali Lopez on Tuesday, November the 1st at 6:30.